Hello! Having spent, I don't know, about 3 months or 4 months-ish living here at University of Warwick, near Coventry and Leamington Spa, kind of an hour and a half away from London. I've never lived in England before, and I wanted to share some things that I've learned since I moved here. Calling someone fit does not mean that you think that they are physically in good shape and are applauding them for working out or eating well or anything. I learned this the hard way. Calling someone fit means that you think that they're hot and that you want to go out with them. Instead, use words like, you look lean or in shape. The trousers, pants, knickers debate. I was raised partially in the United States, and that's kind of where a lot of my English culture comes from. So pants for me are like jeans or pants, you know what I mean? Here, pants mean like underwear, and trousers are in fact what I call pants. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get myself some new pants. People look at me a little bit weirdly. Whereas some people here say knickers for underwear, which I think is funny because it sounds awful. Something I also learned the hard way, the word fanny does not mean butt in this country. Whoops. Something I didn't know what it really meant is fancy dress. A big thing in university is that often when you have social events, they ask you to show up in fancy dress, and I was very perplexed at this in the beginning. I was like, what, should I wear like a ball gown or like a black dress or something, until someone kindly advised me that fancy dress actually just means dressing up in like a costume of whatever sort of theme. The word jumper will never cease to amuse me. I think it's a funny word that refers to some sort of like sweatery, hoodie type business. For me, it's a sweater. Marmite, I tried it. They say you either hate it or you love it. I hated it. Apparently it's made from sort of yeast. It's a bread spread that you can put on different sorts of things, and it's very, very English. And I tasted it, and I can't really describe. It kind of tasted like a chemical. Not my business. The word hob still amuses me. For me, that's a stove. Mince pies, I originally thought that they were like, I hear they're like Christmas treats, and I would see them around Tesco and I'd be like, ooh, mince pie, that looks strange. Reminded me of something like, you know how in The Barber That Kills People, that movie, there's this woman who makes these like pies out of human meat. I thought that was like, I mean obviously with normal meat, but I thought that was like a mince pie. But then someone, you know, advised me that mince pie is actually like dried fruit in this like reddish pastry like casing. And I actually tried one in December when it was Christmas time, and it was like a Tesco one, so it wasn't like amazing. I wouldn't say it was anything very special for me, at least, but we all have our own tastes. The word hoovering I think is funny because I would call it vacuuming, and they call it a Hoover, which is like, I think it's a vacuum brand. And the Hoover, I mean the vacuum that's in my flat that I use is like the funniest shape ever. And the thing is, like, I have carpeting in my room, so every year when they clean out these rooms and new people move in, they use such a strong chemical to clean the carpets, so it doesn't smell usually, and I'm sure they're very, like, okay, I'm sure they're clean. I don't like roll around on the carpet or anything, but when you Hoover, the brush kind of like just like moves around the carpet so much that this like strange detergent like smell comes out, and it smells very strange, and it's like, I don't know if I like it, but yeah. The word squash confused me for so long. Squash for me is like aubergine or a game, but apparently it's that kind of like concentrated juice that you pour in a little bit of concentrate and you put in some water, and that's called squash. The more you know. Okay, I hail from Helsinki, Finland, which is known as a fairly, and a lot of Finnish people are introverts, or they have a very special way of communicating with each other. So in Finland, it wouldn't be like super normal to either small talk with someone or speak to someone like randomly on the street. It's kind of changing now, but like the traditional Finnish way, it doesn't really work like that. But then small talk for me, like I thought I had it down when I came here, but no, like I'm only now realizing that I can't small talk at all. Like you say hello to someone, like, the most awkward thing is when you see someone on campus that you know, you're not like super close with, but you're kind of like acquaintances. So you're, you know, kind of obliged to say hello. So, you know, so you say hello and I'll ask them, how are you? And they'll be like, oh, I'm doing good, nothing special, how about you? And I'll be like, well, actually, I'm quite tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep because I was working on this assignment yesterday, but I'm still gonna try to drag myself to the gym today, and oh my god, I had such a good seminar today, blah, 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 blah. Like, I answer, how are you, with like, the truth. And it confuses people. They're always like, wait, no, come on, dude, like, don't give me your life story right now, like, I need to go. It's a little bit awkward, and I'm only now realizing that I need to say, I'm well, thank you. Another one that confuses me so much is when I am walking on campus and I bump into someone but they're in a hurry and I'm in a hurry. So I'm just like, hey, and then they say, hey, you alright? And again, I'm starting to answer this how are you question, but then they leave. And I'm like, how come you asked me a question if you're just gonna go? And it's just something to say. It doesn't actually mean like, how are you doing or are you doing alright? It's just like, hey, you alright? And then they leave. And I'm like, dude, you're leaving me hanging. And the thing is, like, I found this kind of small talky business kind of superficial at first, because I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, absolutely nothing. It's like, after Christmas they'd be like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm good, how are you? I'm good. How was your Christmas holiday? And like, oh, pretty chill, like, I feel pretty relaxed right now. And then the guy's like, yeah, me too. And then there's like, did you guys just actually share anything? Then again, it is a convention and it's polite. People here, I mean, I'm not gonna just generalize whole England. I just know how it is at this university, or like the people that I've met in this massive university, which is like a very small percentage. People here generally are very polite and fairly private. It's actually, especially in the beginning of uni, it was sort of hard to get to know people because a lot of locals or English people have kind of like barriers set up, and they don't necessarily want to share stuff very easily. I mean, it obviously depends on the person, but generally people are very polite. They've been brought up to be very polite. They've been brought up to small talk. So sometimes it's hard to differentiate whether someone actually likes you and wants to have a conversation with you and get to know you, or whether they're just kind of like, you know, they bumped into you and now they've already kind of said hi, now they kind of have to hang around. And then when you see them again, you know, they feel obliged again. So it's hard to differentiate whether someone's being polite, whether they actually are interested in getting to know you as a person. Another thing is, something I really like about living here is that talking to random people, like strangers, is very normal and fun. Like, every time I go to the store, I put in an effort to say something very nice to the lady at the cashier, and like, honestly, a few times I've ended up having like very nice, like 2-minute conversations about like, oh, you know, like, what's your degree, blah blah blah, like, what are you doing with your life, and then like just kind of having a nice chat. And it doesn't really like, you're not gonna see that person again, but it's a nice thing, and I always try to like, you know, give someone a smile and tell them to have a lovely day, because, you know, brightens everyone up. And it's so fun to just like bump into someone at a train station, you kind of just, you know, the only people there, just kind of start having conversation. Because in Finland, I mean, obviously it can happen, but it doesn't happen quite as often as it does here. And I'm quite a chatter, so that's fun. Also, there's this one person that I met here that doesn't feel like washing up. So they purchased like a bunch of disposable plates and disposable forks and knives that they eat out of. I'm just like, what? So this was my little things I learned in England video. I hope you enjoyed it. I do have plans to I have a lot of things that I want to share with you guys. A lot of new ideas and experiences that I've had over the, you know, past 3-ish months that I've been away. And I'm looking forward to sharing all of those things with you. So thank you very much for watching this video, and hope to speak to you soon.